Alright, hello. It is me, the boy. Alright, now I know that we're normally doing an IRL day on Fridays, but today I literally was like, I'm not feeling too great. And I literally laid in bed all fucking day. Actually, you know, I fell asleep at around like 11 a.m. and then it was off and on until like 2 p.m. and I said, fuck it, and I just laid in bed until 10 p.m. Today was a non-productive day. I literally did not move at all. And then I got up at 10 and was like, I don't feel like trying to pretty up and being good for today. But we are instead today going to, we're gonna watch some cryptid shit. All right. We're gonna look a little bit of spooky scary. All right. Like normal, but as a VTuber. Okay. So I just don't feel pretty enough to do shit today. So we're just gonna pretend that I always look great as this little model. So let's put this up on screen. All right, so you can kind of see there's gonna be cryptids and shit. I looked up Canadian cryptid sightings, and we're gonna look up and see what there might be. So let's unmute my browser. Hopefully my browser isn't too loud. So let's bring that down probably to where desktop roughly is. Now, I looked up Canadian cryptid sightings, and it's not all on Canadian shit. I mean, apparently, a lot of it, when you look up Canadian, it gives you Loch Ness, which I'm pretty sure is in Europe. This one's Canadian. This one's American. This one's American. This one I don't know. But, you know, this one's Finding Bigfoot. I don't know if I really want to look up anything on Finding Bigfoot. Just because, like, that TV show is, like, really like not so it gives the BFRO a really bad name. But yeah, it's more of like we're not gonna find something, but we need to make it entertaining. Vex, hello. I'd also like to point out I've had absolutely no caffeine today because I just got out of bed at 10 p.m. and I've not ate yet today because I've been laying in bed all day. So I'm gonna be kind of low energy. So let's look up this crawler sighting in Canada's Northwest Territories. All right. So let's pause this. Hopefully it's not going to be too loud. So we're going to find out real quick if it's loud or not. Okay. That's loud. All right. So this is 40 minutes actually. How about I just save this to my watch later and I watch that myself later. Let's try and find like shorter videos. Like maybe this Bigfoot sighting. All right. So hopefully it's not too loud. Use some scary to get some adrenaline going. See, here's the thing. Cryptids and aliens and shit like that and ghosts, they don't really, like, in real life, I'm kind of like, oh shit. But, like, in videos, I'm like, it's really not that bad. You know, it's not too big of a deal to me. Okay. Now, do you guys think that that's big enough, or do you want me to make it a little bit bigger and I move myself over to the side a little bit more over towards chat? What would you guys prefer? Because I just need to know what you guys want. My voice already hurts. This is going to be a fun stream. Oh, well. Also, my tracking is kind of being a dick, so I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah. So this Bigfoot sighting was a family affair. The best big footage. Big footage. Nice. So for those that are relatively new here and don't know, every Friday we do a aliens, cryptids, ghosts, supernatural shit kind of discussion on Fridays. And normally it's an IRL stream, but today I just don't feel like doing the IRL thing. Yeah, it's not actually that scary, but you know, I'm just saying words. That's fair. And I believe in all this shit. It's part of my practice that I have, and you know, I dig it. All right, I like it. I think it's interesting. So we're gonna press play on this one and see what it is. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet.
I'm 𝐂𝐡𝐚, executive producer of Bigfoot, and I have been.
Oh no, it's more Finding Bigfoot.
When I started, I was pretty much a skeptic. Does Bigfoot exist?
Rah.
But I have to say, we have traveled all over the world, and we have found some pretty compelling evidence that has made me rethink my position. When you think
Is it loud or quiet?
Cornfields, you think of basketball, and you think of more cornfields. But really, Sasquatches don't come to mind. This family was driving through the woods, and they noticed something unusual outside. You can
Or
see
did
the
they?
figure emerging out of the woods into a snowy clearing. Then, it squats down and apparently rummages through some bushes until it gets up and sprints out of frame. The family is freaked out. You can hear the kids crying. Cliff doesn't think the mom is the type of person who'd want to upset her kids like that. I mean, who would want a minivan full of
It's quiet.
crying children? I was a little swayed because the mom wanted to be anonymous and keep her
All right,
privacy.
how's that?
She certainly didn't want to be famous. And that way, she's a lot like Bigfoot.
So, Mr. Foot, how did that make you feel?
What the
Well, I tell
fuck?
you, it's
What the fuck?
been a long road. I don't think I'm crazy. I do not think I'm crazy. I truly
What
believe
the fuck
that
are we
there are those
watching?
out there who would like to find me. So what do? I run. I keep running. I'm all the time running.
What the fuck? This is not at all what I expected. Mind you, it's from Animal Planet, so I don't expect much. If you guys want to watch something really interesting, though, Les Stroud, Survivor Man, has an entire series dedicated to Bigfoot. It's actually really, really quite neat. Provo, Utah. Let's check this one out.
Seriously, look how big it is. I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
It was a bluebird January morning here in the foothills of northeast Provo when a group of guys saw a figure on the mountain that looked like something they've never seen before.
You can't just see something that's maybe a once-in-a-century discovery and go do your 9-to-5 job. You got to go look for fur or footprints or some kind of evidence.
And the camera was
I
rolling
mean,
as
fair.
Austin took to the mountain with a buddy on a search for the
Yeah,
elusive
foot news.
Bigfoot.
So I'm seeing something that is not deer tracks anymore. We're trying to determine what it is.
Their findings were inconclusive.
Was it a bear? Maybe. That's plausible. Was it a person? Also plausible. Was it something else? I think that's also plausible. Who knows?
On the other hand, I spoke to a curator from the Natural History Museum of Utah who says not only is that figure in the video not Sasquatch, but it's safe to say that Sasquatch is not something that would even exist.
What's the likelihood that there are big animals that have gone undetected by scientists and by trained observers?
Dr. Eric
It's not,
Rickard
though.
has spent much of his career exploring places people have never
Like,
gone
we have
before
video
in search of
evidence.
new species. So far, no Bigfoot or anything like it.
There are lots of undiscovered things, particularly in the natural world. But they don't take the form of giant apes running around in largely settled areas of the world.
So what do you believe?
I mean, they live there
Really hoping I
first.
get to go look again.
It's
Maybe there's
secretly
something
Bigfoot.
I
It is
can find
Bigfoot.
right here in Utah. Even in
You're
Provo.
secretly Bigfoot. Rel, but you're tiny. Oh, man. Alright, what else is on here? I love how I just look up Canadian cryptid sightings, and it changes from, like, standard cryptids to just Bigfoot. But I got big feet. You know what? That's a fair point. Well, if it isn't the world's best hiker. Yeah, pretty much. Well, I don't want to do anything from Watch Mojo. Let's go back one to... I just searched up cryptid sightings at first. I mean, Most Amazing Top 10 has some interesting shit. Do you guys want to watch one of those, or should we go to, like, Origins Explained? Because Origins Explained has some pretty okay shit. And then there's also Top 10 Mythical Creatures and Cryptids of 2020. Also, if you guys don't watch Tier Zoo, you should totally watch Tier Zoo. But the cryptid tier list. They pretty much take, like, real-life animals, explain how they work, but in, like, a tier list type thing. It's really fucking interesting. Like, they'll be like, oh, a chicken is, like, a B tier. But then if you look at, like, ostrich, it's A tier or some shit. You're like, the hummingbird is C tier. Because it doesn't have much attack power, but it's got great mobility. And it's actually really fucking neat. Holy. My throat is already killing me. The mystery of the Loch Ness Monster explained. So just saying, anyone that believes the Loch Ness Monster is real, and this is coming from someone that believes in, like, ghosts and aliens and cryptids of various different types. The dude that took the picture of the Loch Ness Monster, like the first picture, confirmed and showed how he took the picture. It's fake. So the monster of Loch Ness is fake. But you know, just saying. Doesn't mean that other shit's fake. Well, Most Amazing Top 10 has a part 2 of it. All right, let's watch both of those. Why not? So top 10 scary cryptid sightings, and then top 10 scary cryptid sightings part 2. I know if there's actually like this really creepy, what's it called? Brain gotta work, doop doop. House that's haunted by this ghost thing. We should totally look that up after these ones. Because this one's about 20 minutes of stuff, bruh. Haven't seen the movie The Real Monster is Clearly Off Frame. What? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Cryptids are creatures whose existence has not
This looks
yet
loud.
been proven scientifically. But there are also creatures that have not been disproved by science. So, these mainly stem from folklore, which is why you'll probably see some familiar names on this list, by the way. Hey, Most Amazing
Okay.
Fam, it's Abby, and I'm a big fan of cryptozoology because it's true that we haven't documented absolutely everything that is out there. Like, yeah,
This is
we
true.
know-
Okay. So, to anyone that doesn't know, the study of cryptozoology is not saying demons and monsters and shit like that. Some of those actually fall into that, such as Bigfoot. However, the lowland mountainback gorilla is actually a once cryptid that is now in almost every single zoo. Okay, so cryptid just means an animal that we don't have full information on. Okay.
A lot, but there's always more to discover. A lot of cryptids can just be cool creatures we don't know enough about yet, but others are scary. And that is what brings me to today's video,
like
top
the
10
giant
scary
squid.
cryptid sightings. So let's get started. So just hopping in quick to share something really exciting. Introduce this
Nope.
with shadow. Dark Watchers. So Dark Watchers are humanoid beings ranging from 7 to 15 feet tall. They are
We heard
cloaked
about this the
figures,
last time we did a
sometimes with
creepy
wide-brimmed hats
scream.
that have been reported to
Creepy
melt
screams,
and merge
creepy
with shadows.
stream.
If you spot one, they can disappear within the blink of an eye. They are mainly spotted in California. The earliest sightings are by the native Chumash tribe, whose oral history of the Old Ones goes back centuries. The Old Ones are said to observe from a distance. As recently as 2018, a man said he encountered one. He was hiking up a remote trail and came upon a dark figure. He waved as a joke, not thinking it was a person, and it waved back. Then, he thought he might just be tripping out or something, so he took a puff of his cigarette, and then the figure blew out a plume of smoke as well. And if that wasn't trippy enough, it started flowing and nearly floating vertically, so the man ran back to his car. If you ever encounter one, don't be too wary. They're not known to harm anyone as long as they're not disturbed, so just keep on your merry way and you should be fine. At number 9, Tzaruk. So the Tzaruk is a sea serpent found in Alaskan folklore that roams Alaska's waters. It's described as 7 feet long with the tail ending in a flipper. The total length is about 12
never
to
heard of
15
this
feet
thing.
long. It's also called a Cadborosaurus from one academic suggestion. This led to the nickname caddy being given to the sea serpent that's occasionally spotted. It's been said to snap people from docks and piers. So a video came out in 2009 claiming that it was a Tzaruk, but some say it was a herd of sea lions. Mysterious sea serpents are rumored all around the world.
Or it
Nessie, and I think
could just be like a rope or something that's got ice on
a new
it.
species of whale was discovered in Alaska's waters. So really we can't rule out the existence of something else out there. So Tzaruk,
I mean, that's true. A
caddy,
whale is
whatever you
pretty
call
big.
it, Alaska might have it for you. Maybe go take a peek. Hit up Alaska. Why not? On to number 8, the
Okay,
Wampas beast.
so getting onto that, Alaska has so much unexplored land, just like the rest of like northern Canada, because Alaska's to the west of northern Canada. There's so much that only the natives and like the Inuit tribes that are up there know anything about. So I would not be surprised if that's like a hiding place for a lot of cryptids that we don't even have an idea about yet. There's also a theory that well, I'm indoors and I'm saying this, but Wendigos and skinwalkers and such like that, Goatman, Flesh Gates, all of those are potentially pretty much the exact same concept. I mean, they aren't, but they all have very relative similar traits of being able to not be tracked. They can mimic human voices, and you kind of go missing in the woods. So Native American tribes from all over the fucking world, so I guess not really Native American, natives from all across the world have stories about shit like this, and especially in North America and Central America. So when, like, the Eastern people that aren't actually the East, what we call it today, but, like Europeans, moved and settled in Canada, they started documenting these things as well. And, colonizers being colonizers, cut down forests, built giant populaces, and we hunted out a lot of animals. It's why you don't see as often like wolves or cougars or anything like that in your backyard. Some places still have it, but a lot of places they don't have it anymore. The closest thing is bears, because good luck trying to tell a bear to fuck off. Your bullets mostly bounce off unless it's a high enough caliber. So we hunted a lot of these animals away, and we took out the other predators. So if you look at, like, say, national parks and stuff, a lot of people go missing in national parks and are found hundreds of miles, if not like dozens to hundreds of miles away of where they were, with no way they could have gotten there. And what's to say that whatever is still out there that we didn't hunt is just trapped in those national forests and shit? Just an idea. Yeah, let's go into this one, the Wampus Beast. I don't know what this is either, or at least I don't think I do.
So this cryptid is also known as the Wampus cat. It is a jet black panther cat creature with glowing eyes. It's mainly seen in Appalachia. So Cherokee folklore says it was a woman wearing hides to spy on her husband, but guards caught her and cast spells on her. This caused the hide she was wearing to form onto her. One rumor says that the Wampus Beast lives in sewers, but...
Hold up, Rel, you know this one? Really? Alright, after we're done listening to this, I want you to tell that story if you're willing to. I am in the streaming channel if you want to talk. If not, you're more than welcome to just type it out in chat.
Anyways, one story goes that a 9-year-old boy saw this beast late at night. His parents told him to get something from the shed. He went out and came face to face with a jet black panther-like creature with glowing eyes, just as we described. The creature gave a weird high-pitched hissing-like sound, which then frightened the boy to go back inside to his house. Then, years later, on the same farm, the boy had another encounter with the beast. He lost a lot of pigs to the beast, but he did escape the encounter with his life. Number 7.
Alright, Rel, we need to know. The fuck? So, I am in the voice channel if you want to join the voice channel. If not, feel free to type it out in chat. But, and of course the voice channel is in Discord, so, obviously. But, yeah. Because I would love to hear about that. Yeah, I'll join one sec. Alright, cool. Let's watch this one then. And then he should be here by then. So that's the Wampus Beast that he was going to talk about, which is the black cat thing.
Gargoyle. So, you might be familiar because the term gargoyle is used in architecture, but it is also a term to describe cryptids that resemble the gargoyles we see in architecture. They are described as roughly humanoid monsters with leathery bat-like wings. They resemble the popular conceptions of demons, pretty much. So a popular example of a gargoyle is the Gargoyle of Glastonbury. This gargoyle supposedly haunts researchers who try to learn too much about King Arthur. But there isn't just one gargoyle out there. One person in the States claimed to see one fly over their car. Their mom was driving and they thought they were the only one to see it, but their mom looked at them, pale as a sheet, and said, "Did you see that?" They described it as a thin, bony, lanky gray thing that was illuminated, coated in like a soft light. They said it kind of looked like a huge, starving, human-esque bat creature, and all in all, I'm just rethinking everything about the Hunchback of Notre Dame right now. Those
Holy shit.
What if it's based off something real?
Oh, fuck.
All I'm saying. So
Alright, so Rel, you're here now. Your story, you saw a Wampus Beast?
Yeah.
Huh.
So,
Here, let me turn
hang
you up
on,
so I can hear you.
but
Alright, now I can hear you.
now I gotta do the same to you. Be quiet. Okay, there you go.
Okay, sorry about that.
We used to have this cabin down in downstate West Virginia. It's called, the area is called Little, because it's little, you know, it's funny.
Okay.
But
okay.
so around this cabin we had with a bunch of other people, there was like, the adults would talk about like the Wampus cats all the time.
Really?
And like all the kids just assumed it was like tall shit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then one day, like the middle of the fucking night, we go outside and on front of the cabin there's this like cliff down and at the bottom, and it goes down a hill into like a creek, right?
Okay.
So all of a sudden you hear this screech. We down off the deck we were at, and you could see this like black fucking panther thing with yellow eyes, fucking just chasing after something.
Jeez. That would be a little freaky. And how old were you?
13, I think.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's not traumatizing at all.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man. Any other encounters with it, or just that one?
So apparently, there was another one that didn't happen to me, but happened to my uncle, where one actually got inside the cabin.
What the fuck? And is there any like reports of like Black Panthers in the area or no?
No, there's no panthers in the area.
Jesus. What the fuck? That's freaky as fuck, man. Like, huh. Well then, I shared my screen as well in Discord if you want to watch the videos with us, unless you wanted to just join just to tell the story, but
Okay, yeah.
I don't think it should hurt my
Mute
computer
the-
too much to stream to Discord as well. So
No, I'm sure you'll be fine.
yeah, like I've got 0 drop frames running at like 5,700 kilobytes. That should be good. So, all right. Rel has muted himself. I'm gonna press play on this one, and we're going to see what this next little story is gonna, or the next cryptid is gonna be, because she just talked about gargoyles, which is kind of freaky in a way. Kind of reminds me of the creatures that are in the Castlevania anime I just started watching. I should probably like finish that up soon, but I'm on season 3, and it's like really fucking neat. If you guys are looking for a good anime to get into, it's got like a good sense of humor and like pretty dope fights. So, all right, so let's press play.
Some people said the possible gargoyle the last person described sounded a little bit like Mothman. So that brings us to number 6, Mothman. If you haven't heard, the Mothman is described as a 6 or 7 foot tall, dark humanoid figure with wings and bright red glowing eyes. This legend began November 1966 in Clendenin, West Virginia. The story goes that 5 men were at their local cemetery preparing a grave for burial. Then, all of a sudden, something that looked like a brown
also
human
fucked
being
with this
lifted
one.
off from some
Sorry,
I've also messed with this one.
you fuck with Mothman?
Yeah, so little known fact about Mothman. If someone you know sees Mothman and then talks about Mothman to you, Mothman will then come to you.
I've never heard that. Huh. Because I always thought he was just like that harbinger of like, hey, shit's about to happen. Y'all should be careful.
Yeah, so when I was in middle school, one of my teachers went to Point Pleasant.
Okay.
And she went to this bookstore, I think it was.
Gravity Falls IRL.
And she left the bookstore and went down an alley.
Mm-hmm.
And she noticed there was nobody in the alley when there should have been, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she goes to like this dumpster, and next to the dumpster is this big fuck off like monster man thing.
This big fuck off
Right?
monster man thing. Okay.
So she freaks out and runs back inside. Tells the shop owner. The shop owner freaks out and locks all the doors.
The Mothman's back. Fuck that.
So she goes home, and she comes back to school and tells all of us about this encounter, right?
Yeah.
So that night, I was sleeping in my parents' room for some fucking reason. My parents weren't in there, but it was just me all alone.
You got some
And,
explain it to do on that one, you weird.
So there I am
But
sitting.
yeah.
It's like 12 o'clock midnight. All of a fucking sudden, now it's pitch black. I can't see shit. All of a fucking sudden, all you hear is screeching and scratching at the door. Like something's trying to get in.
Yeah, nope. I ain't fucking with that. Nope.
And it's on the second floor, so it's like, there's no way anything could get up there.
Yeah. My mans. You've been through some shit. Holy. I mean, I've been through a lot of stupid shit as well, so I mean, I can't really say anything, but like, mine's more of like, hey, this is an encounter with something that isn't super well known, but you know 2 things that are well known. That's kind of fucking freaky, man.
I'd say it probably wasn't if I didn't also live in West Virginia and only like an hour from Point Pleasant.
Yeah. That kind of makes it a little bit more of, oh no. So, alright, I'm going to press play again. Is that cool? We gotta say it's cool.
nearby trees.
But like
and
that that's not the only time I've heard of it doing something like that. Like
Yeah.
like I've had people talk about it happening to them too.
Well, I need to look more into that. I don't know a whole lot about Mothman. My understanding of him is he's just kind of like that. Hey, this bridge is gonna collapse. People gonna die. I'm here to warn you. And then it happens and people die. And he's like, I fucking warned you. And like a few other things, but pretty much that. But I'm gonna press play and see what the next thing is that she talks about with Mothman, and then whatever it is. Okie doke. That cool? That cool?
Anyway, I'm gonna remute myself.
Okay, he muted himself.
for their heads. The men were shocked.
Right.
It did not appear to be a bird, but more like a man with wings. And then, a few days later, sightings kept taking place with stories spreading around the entire region. While it has been spotted all over West Virginia, its main habitat seems to be Point Pleasant. Specifically in an area locals call the TNT area, where there have been hundreds of sightings. So now in
Jeez.
Point Pleasant, there is a Mothman statue, Mothman Museum, and Mothman Festival. And honestly, that's just fun hype, and I want to go. So bad.
They made
But here's another
Mothman
man,
thick
creature,
AF.
cryptid
Like,
at
did you see
number
them
5,
fucking
Dogman. So
ripped ass fucking, like that 6-pack he had going on? Was that a 6-pack or an 8-pack? I didn't count it. I just kind of fangirled a little inside. No, it's just me. Just me, wasn't it? All right.
Dogman or dogmen is an
The
umbrella term
dogman.
for an upright canine cryptid. They're mainly found stalking North American woods, as you can see by this map of reported sightings.
There's a lot there. Holy shit. Wait. What is this? Philadelphia? Is that what it says? Hold up. Hold up. I gotta look up something real quick. And I got hiccups. God damn it. I'm just gonna look up Google Maps real quick. Where is Philadelphia? Or Pennsylvania, sorry. I see Philadelphia down there. But Pennsylvania, where is that? Oh, the hiccups are hurting. Dude, that's like, that state is so fucking close to me. Like, that's right across from Lake Erie. Holy shit. That explains some of the dogman sightings in southern Ontario as well. Holy shit. I kind of dig that. Nice. Apparently I'm also not signed in to Google, even though my Google Chrome is signed in. Alright.
So some describe another version of a dogman, sometimes called a type 3, a Sasquatch-looking creature with the face of a dog. So here's one story that is similar to how many sightings of a dogman or dogmen go down. A man and his mom were sitting on their porch that faces an alley when it got eerily quiet. They turned their attention to where a trash can had fallen over. They thought they saw just a big dog, but it got up on its hind legs. Its height was taller than the security fence their neighbors put up. His mom went inside and he backed away slowly into his house. Now he says he won't walk anywhere at night alone. While there is a large sum of people who have reported sightings where they said they felt frightened, few sightings have resulted in actual attack or harm. And that being said, if you come across a dogman and feel frightened, like you could be attacked, just walk away. You just don't want to risk it, honestly. No.
No,
So,
fuck
we
him
talked
up.
about Dogman, so we need to talk about
Nah, man. Fuck him up. Be like, I'm having puppy for dinner tonight. And then you just pull out the rifle and you take out the dog, man. These hiccups are gonna fucking kill me. Holy shit. Rel. I'm going to die. I'm in pain. I mean, to be fair, the only thing I've had today is beer. And I only recently started drinking, like, within the past, like, half hour-ish. Ow. The struggle. So, my chest pains, that I've got from my heart problems. When I hiccup, it's, like, super painful. It's like getting booted in the chest from the inside out. And it's not fun. And I've got hiccups right now. And I normally only ever get one. Ow. And then my body's like, let's not do that again. But I've got hiccups right now, and that's not cool. Ow. Okay. We're just going to press play, and you're going to hear me say ow occasionally.
Number 4, Goatman. He is described as half goat and half human, as the name suggests. Goatman walks on 2 legs and is 7 feet tall. I feel like a lot of these are 7 feet tall or 7 feet long. Just saying. So the story goes that a scientist was experimenting on goats.
It's just
until one
taller than a
experiment
person, that's all.
backfired. Then he was mutated, becoming goat-like himself. He then began attacking cars with an axe, roaming the back roads of Beltsville,
That's not goat, man. That right there is either called the crawler, the crawler, or the rake. The rake is a creepypasta. The crawler is, like a North American, the North American cryptid that is like a very large pale man with like long claws and like glowing eyes. Okay.
Maryland. He has been blamed for the deaths of countless hikers. In 1962, Goatman allegedly slaughtered 14 hikers after they went too close to his hideout. It was written, he chopped his victims to pieces while emitting screams that only the devil himself would make. Now people believe he hides out under an old bridge, waiting for his next victim. At number
Bullshit, completely wrong. That's not how that works. Okay, so Goatman is not a particular incident of like one experiment gone wrong. Goatman is actually part of North American native culture. He's a cryptid from their stories based around like essentially similar to how like the Wendigo or Skinwalker is. And they like a Wendigo is a creature that will come after you and try to eat you because it's a cannibal. It's a human that converted to cannibalism in order to survive, or is a spirit that taken over someone's body. And these hiccups are gonna fucking kill me. So, and possess them to do evil things, and pretty much makes you want to kill people. Whereas, you know, like a skinwalker is generally like central to southern North America, native culture, whether that be like, you know, like Mexico or like southern states, and they could take on the form of another person or an animal. Whereas Goatman is able to change into the shape of any person he wants. Generally smells like complete garbage and like blood and just not good. And is able to mimic human voices. Goatman generally does not kill people, in most accounts. He more of just wants to fuck with people. Whereas like Skinwalkers, Wendigo, and Fleshgates want to kill and eat people. Goatman generally just wants to like fuck with you. He will kill you if you piss him off and you try to shoot him or attack him. But generally, he just doesn't care. And he can transform into the shape of any person. There's actually been accounts of cryptids fighting. Whether they're real accounts or not, it's people's stories. So you obviously have to take everything with a grain of salt. But essentially, there have been accounts of goatmen that have fought off Wendigos to save human lives. It's rare, but it does happen. And it's more of a territory thing as well. Because, you know, apex predators fighting over a kill essentially, or just their territory in general. And goatmen generally are not murderous. They just like taking people and fucking with them. Sometimes they'll make someone go missing, and they might kill them. But essentially, that's if that person attacked them. If you don't attack a goatman, generally they don't really get too angry with you, and they just want to hang out and fuck with you.
Number 3, 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭. The 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭 is also called 𝐂𝐡𝐚. It is said that it was discovered by the Tama native tribe before the British English colonization. The existence of 𝐂𝐡𝐚 has been recognized by Native Americans for centuries. It is described as 20 to 30 feet long, with a sturgeon-like body and a bony ridge on its top. Its color is gray with a whitish yellow underbelly, but it can be shown to be green. This may be for camouflaging reasons. It has front flippers but no back limbs, and it has large protruding eyes and large sharp teeth. Apparently, it swims like a dolphin but has the snout of a crocodile and big bug eyes. Basically. It's located in small streams and abandoned rice fields near the 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭 River. So it has not been said to be explicitly dangerous, but don't go near it if you see one. If it has the face of a crocodile, you can bet it has the bite of one too. And with those, you just punch it in the nose. Or like plug its nose and it can't breathe, and then you'll be let go. Just tips, pro tips for crocodiles. On to number 2.
Is that actually? I mean, I know
So the
punching,
orang
but I
pendek
didn't know
is
you
a
just plug its
mysterious ape
nose.
of Sumatra, an island of western Indonesia. In the Indonesian language, orang pendek translates to short person. So it could possibly be a homogeneous, and it's believed to be an undiscovered kind of primate species, possibly. It is most commonly described by those who have seen it as a bipedal creature that stands from 2.5 to 5 feet tall. They are covered in golden brown or gray hair and have similar mannerisms to humans. Different than monkeys, they are also said to have human-like facial features. Witnesses have also claimed to see them ripping apart logs, akin to Captain America ripping one up. That's only what I think. It
Yeah,
could
no
just
thank
be
you.
ripping up that way. But let's go on, last but not least, number 1, Slide Rock Bolter. So the Slide Rock Bolter is a huge cryptid that allegedly lives in the mountains of Colorado. It has a huge head, small eyes, and a gaping mouth. It is said to look similar
What the
to a
fuck?
whale with a flared tail that has enormous grabbing hooks at the end. So it was reportedly seen around the late 19th and into the 20th centuries as a popular tale among lumberjacks and miners. Also, it only lives where the slope is more than a 45-degree angle, where it hides and waits for its prey. I'm guessing it uses this angle to be able to slide towards them, as it will sit and wait until unsuspecting tourists walk by, and then it unlocks its claws and just slides towards them. Due to its size, it's said to be able to eat whole parties of tourists in just one fell swoop. Once at its
Holy
caught its
shit,
prey,
that's
it
kinda
apparently
creepy.
uses its tail claws to climb back up the mountain and then rest again, waiting for the next victim. Now, skeptics say it may be a drunken lumberjack's explanation for a rock slide, but believers say it may have taken on more of a rocky look to camouflage itself nowadays, as big divots in Colorado mountains say, "Ooh, maybe it's there, and it was sliding, eating the prey." But that was the top 10 scary cryptid sightings. Let me know
Well
what you
then.
think down. We got more cryptids, baby! I'm so excited. And you know what used to be identified as a cryptid? A kangaroo. Early explorers
Yep.
were like, do you see that frog with the head of a deer? And that was a kangaroo. That's a great explanation if you ask.
That is not what it was. That's similar, but essentially they wrote back saying that they found creatures that were like man with 2 heads and a tail and jumped like a frog. They didn't say it was a frog that looked like a man or with like a horse head type shit. I mean, they said it looked like a man with a horse head or a head of a dog and 2 heads. It had 2 heads and they looked like dogs. And then like a tail that was like muscular and they were like ripped and they jumped like frogs. That was about it. Okay, but they didn't say it was a frog like that, but you know, close enough. Kangaroos at one point were cryptids as well.
Ask me. Same with platypus, Komodo dragon, and giant squid. So yes, most
Yep.
amazing fam, today I'm back with more cryptids. Stick around to the end where I'll comment on your comments from the last scary cryptid sightings video. This is Top 10 Scary Cryptid Sightings Part 2, and we are jumping right in, because these go on for quite a bit. At number
Okay, so
10,
no
we have
ad,
the
awesome.
Flatwoods Monster, aka Green Monster.
This thing terrified the shit out of me as a kid. Purely because I watched this on like Creepy Canada, which is like a TV show that we've got here in Canada, obviously. And it's actually a really interesting show. Maybe we can like watch that on stream. I don't know if we're allowed to watch that on stream or not, but whatever. Yeah, this thing just kind of freaked me out as a kid. It didn't look like that right there. Like it's more of like a creepier looking shape to it. But when I played Zelda Majora's Mask, the aliens that come down on the like Romani Ranch terrified the shit out of me. Especially considering I was playing it at like 4 o'clock in the morning because my buddy and I wanted to beat Majora's Mask in one sitting. So we did. We started playing at like midday and finished it by like 7 a.m. the next day. But yeah, like we had like a walkthrough and everything. But yeah, the aliens in that freaked me right the fuck out as a kid. So these guys creepy.
So this being has been seen in Flatwoods, West Virginia, and gave it the moniker Home of the Green Monster. It's a 10-foot Frankenstein-like monster in the hills above Flatwoods. It's
Why is
described
there so
as
many
10 feet
cryptids in
tall
West
with a
Virginia
blood-red
anyway?
body
It doesn't
and a
seem
green
fair.
face that seems to glow. It was hard
It's
to
just
tell
'cause a
what
lot of
witnesses
shit
at the
happens there, man.
time
There's a
because
lot of
dense
forest.
mist, but it may also have claws for hands. It was also accompanied by a noxious odor. Now, those that saw it were aged between 10 and 17 and were terrified and ran for their lives. The dog that was with them was frightened too, with the tail between their legs. Now, some say the creature may have come from a UFO that was sighted 5 months before this sighting, and locals who believe say the red-eyed creature could eat people alive and that they better watch out. So, ooh, maybe. Looks very futuristic and scientific, if you ask me. At number 9, we have Aswang. Aswang is a name given to various shape-shifting evil spirits in Filipino folklore. People say it stalks prey in the small, rural towns of the Philippines. It is a nocturnal hunter, specifically. During the night,
That's
they
kinda
hunt
cool, though,
prey and prefer
being
children
that
and
close.
pregnant women. They appear as regular townspeople by day. An Aswang may have reclusive habits or magical abilities, including the ability to shapeshift into dogs or pigs. They may also walk with their feet backwards, so that's something to look out for. Also, they have a proboscis tongue that they can use to suck blood from their victims. Very gross. And some may make doppelgangers of their victims that return to the victim's home, get sick, and die, to keep it a little more on the DL that they're killing, I guess. Now, some people say the folklore was used as an explanation for murders or infant and mother mortality rates. Others say it's real. On to number 8, 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭 of the Ohio River. So 5 people
I'm
claimed to
sorry,
see
what?
it in the winter of 1959. They say they saw a gray-skinned kind of octopus-like
Yo, I
creature.
live
One man
next to the
reported that
Ohio River, and I've never heard of this.
This is looking like some kind of like War of the Worlds type shit too.
thing came out of the water and that it was just indescribable. Then another man, a truck driver, called the police and said, "It came out of the water. I can't describe it, and I have never seen anything like it before. All I want to do
Although
is
I
get out
guess
of here
it
and
might
get on."
exist. We got piranhas in the Ohio River. I mean, like,
Yeah. I don't know, maybe look into it. See if you can find anything in like your local library or some shit at some point. And just be like, yep, there's an 𝐂𝐴𝐿 apparently. I'm gonna go film him. And there we go. Then we'll have like rel equivalent evidence. Which is probably
he's
not
both
great evidence.
kid and squid.
Shut the fuck up.
On to Indianapolis. Okay. The police didn't seem to take it seriously, but anyone who reported it, they were shaken by it. Around the time these reports were popping up, lights that ran down two separate sides of a street on two different circuits went out, and authorities couldn't figure out why. So some people say that this 𝐂𝐴𝐿 might have triggered that. And then a man described only as a scientist in the news allegedly saw a large hulking creature along the rail of the bridge they were crossing. The description: strange grayish creature with a lopsided chest, ugly tentacles, and
His name is the Indescribable, and they're describing him. I'm a little confused.
rolls of fat running horizontally over a bald head. So let me know if you see that description in the Ohio River. Number 7, staying in Ohio, let's have a look at Loveland Frogman, aka Loveland Lizard. So this lovely lizard or frog stands 4 feet tall. It's a frog humanoid figure spotted in Loveland, Ohio. According to legend, a
I've never
local
seen a
man
cryptid, but
reported
I've been
seeing
to an
3
abandoned
frogmen with leathery
penitentiary.
skin, webbed
Nice.
hands, and feet on the side of the road in 1955. He said he saw one wield what looked like a wand that emitted sparks above its head and then ran away. So in
Magic frog with a sparkler. Rel. Magic frog with a sparkler. What is your take on this? These hiccups can go away at any time. I'm gonna die. My man's from Shrek.
Magic
Yeah,
frog.
pretty much.
That's for sure.
With a sparkler? With a sparkler. Okay.
In 2016, one of these might have also scared 2 teenagers. They were playing Pokemon Go, as we do, between Loveland Madeira Road and Lake Isabella. They saw a giant frog near the lake that stood up and walked on its hind legs. So was it kind of reclusive after people saw its magic, or what happened? What's with the frog?
It's just
I
one of
don't
them
know.
fancy
Anyway, on to
Pokemon.
number 6,
They
Menahune.
just don't know it yet.
It's a poly swirl. Yay! You mean Polytoad? He's not a toad, he's a frog. Poly swirl.
Pokeball.
It's Poliwhirl. Polygraph! You know, like motherfucking Krogunk comes up, punches you in the dick, you know. No? I just caught a
What'd you
mosquito
say?
midair. Said
Damn.
a Krogunk comes up and punches you in the dick. And then I said I just caught a mosquito midair as it was flying. I was like, get the fuck out of my life. And I killed it.
Menahune are mythological
Impressive.
dwarf
Now do it
or
with
pygmy
chopsticks.
people that live in forests and hidden valleys of the Hawaiian Islands. Apparently, they're great at crafting too. So the Menahune are usually described as playful and even mischievous. They have distended bellies, they're described as, and they are hairy, muscular, and 2 or 3 feet tall with bushy eyebrows over large eyes. Apparently, they also speak in a low hum. This may be because they are shy creatures that sleep in caves during the day and work at night. As I said before, very mischievous. For example, Gloop Gloop Glop said on the Cryptozoology Reddit that they took things from their campsite and returned them later, and possibly also stole a piece of cake. Just like
You
a little
bitch.
bit of stuff.
It's my kick.
But also other stories go that modern Hawaiians mingled with them and that they started using them for labor. And then after that, the Menahune retreated and hid from society because they were kind of being exploited. But historians also argue just about their actual existence, could be saying that it might just be folklore. Some stories go that children who live near the mountains can see them, but adults cannot. A school teacher in Hawaii said one of the kids she taught could see them, and it scared the child. One time the young girl saw 2 Menahune playing an old game with a lava rock and some sticks, and one looked over at her. When they locked eyes, the little girl was terrified, so she went and got a Hawaiian blessing. Felt better then. Then the school teacher herself saw weird lights popping up, and she was told later those were sacred lights. And then others also reported seeing those lights when they had 𝐭𝐻𝐿, or what they thought were 𝐭𝐻𝐿, interacting with them. So what's up? There's a water bottle company that is 𝐭𝐻𝐿, so maybe they make good water. I don't know. But let's move on to number 5, Beast of Bray Road. So this could be a hairy humanoid.
Okay, so I've heard this one a lot. The Beast of Bray Road has like so much fucking documented on it. It's actually insane. Like, I've watched, I think, probably close to like 20 videos just on this. All of them over a half hour. And like, there's some insane shit with it. Like, it's spoopy, man.
Creature with canine features. It was seen mainly in the 90s in Delavan and Elkhorn in Wisconsin. So local folklore called it a werewolf, but many cryptozoologists called it more of a Bigfoot because of the scientific issues associated with saying a human turns into a wolf, instead saying, no, maybe it just stays a wolf. Yeah. Also, others even just think it's more of a cryptid canine, and other names are the bear wolf and the indigenous dogman. Also, others commented it may be a black bear with sarcoptic mange. This is possible since there is a thriving black bear population in Wisconsin. Although they're more common in the upper third of Wisconsin, they have an expanding population that's below. And all in all, a person would be like, oh, why is there a black bear here, and why does it look kind of like a dog? Look at a picture for yourself, you'll get it. So one person's experience was when they were having a sleepover in the summer. They were playing hide and seek in the dark and saw something huge hunched over in a bush. It didn't appear to be any dog or wolf, as it was much too big to be as small as one of those. Its hind legs were thick and muscular like a man, but tapered at the abdomen and had a head like a wolf or canine. So they asked their dad, what is that scary creature? And when he tried to get a look, he had no idea either. So they all hightailed it inside, as I would too.
Like a smart move.
Even if it is just a black bear with mange. Still something to be afraid of. On to number 4, Beast of Boggy Creek, another beast. And it's also known as the folk beast, or the folk monster, after the town it was reported in. In 1971, a man named Bobby Ford told the town constable that he was attacked at his house by a hairy creature that breathed heavily, had red eyes, and moved very fast. He also described it as 7 feet tall and 3 feet across at the chest. He was treated at a hospital for minor scratches and shock after his alleged attack. His wife,
You were
brother,
attacked
and
and you got a
hunting companion
scratch.
were also eyewitnesses. Other descriptions of it sound similar to a skunk ape. Those other descriptions said the folk monster smells like a mix of wet dog and skunk, which is the same alleged smell as a skunk ape. The folk monsters also said to swing its arms like a monkey.
That is not what the skunk ape is described as. It smells like hot garbage, human excrement and sweat, and a skunk. Not like a wet dog and skunk. That would be a pleasant smell compared to what it's known as. It's a miniature beast titan. That is pretty much what Bigfoot is. Beast titan is based off Bigfoot, so I mean, yeah, maybe.
So, maybe a stinky Florida ape. I mean, skunk ape. Same thing. It's funny, if you look at pictures of stinky Florida ape, skunk ape comes up, so, you know. On to number 3, Manananggal. So, either seen as a man-eating, blood-sucking monster or witch, this Manananggal is described as scary, hideous, and often female. It has wide eyes, long hair, and can sprout fangs and claws. Legends say it also severs its torso and sprouts bat wings to fly off and find its next prey. Its name comes from the Tagalog word tangal, which means to remove or separate. It splits its body to transform and then find its victims. Similar to the aswang, it preys on people who sleep and pregnant women. It is also said to target grooms since it may have been a woman that was left at the altar.
It preys on people who sleep. I'm safe. I'm safe.
So, similar to the folklore of vampires, they are said to detest garlic and salt, and so to defeat one, you simply find their weaker, lower half and sprinkle some garlic and salt on it. Just salt bay it. Done. Let's move on to number 2, 𝐭𝐿𝐴. So the name means one who stops the flow of rivers, and that's because it's probably pretty huge. It's said to be a cryptid that resembles a brontosaurus.
I was gonna say, it's just a big dino.
And biologists even documented its existence. So maybe not all dinos were wiped out by a meteor. Who knows? It's been spotted in the Congo, and while some say it's like it's looked like a brontosaurus, which was most likely a herbivore, some say it's allegedly a carnivore, with some saying it eats hippos. Hippos. Also, anything that can eat hippos is something to fear.
Yeah, I was gonna say
really
nothing
cute,
can eat a
they're
hippo.
So dangerous. They
They
run
could eat
as
you.
fast as 30 kilometers an hour over short distances and are very aggressive. Their teeth are huge, and they could crush you to death under their weight. So, if 𝐭𝐿𝐴 can take them on, you should watch out too. All I'm saying. And if they're running away from it, you could be crushed while they're running away from the 𝐭𝐿𝐴. Also, it's just a fun word to say. At number 1, we have ☉ or ☉. Just roll the R. The 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭, also known as the 𝐂𝐡𝐚 slang, is Afrikaans or Dutch for big snake, because it is one big snake. It is a legendary or mythological cryptid that allegedly lives in the 𝐵𝐸𝐺𝐻𝑡𝑗veld in South Africa. It is said to either be a huge elephant-like creature with a serpent's tail or a humongous snake with an elephant's face and gems for eyes. Either way, very creepy. It's claimed to lure elephants into its cave, aka the Wonder Hole or the Bottomless Pit. Sound very different. So the cave is said to connect to the sea that is 40 miles away. And
Wonder Hole is what I call my
The
basement.
thing is, this beast is in there with those precious
Of course
gems,
you do.
so might not go for the diamond.
Of course
Some say
you
it
do.
likes gems, and explorers can bargain for their freedom by offering enough loot to the 𝐂𝐡𝐚, sorry. But either way, I'd say don't go out hunting for it, you know? But those are the top 10 scary
I'd
cryptid
fuck
sightings
with it.
part 2. Before we go, let's take a
Would you fuck at it with it? Fuck at it, fuck with it? I'd fuck with it.
I'd fuck it.
God damn it, Rel. God damn it, Rel.
What, I'm lonely. Can you blame me?
You'd fuck a snake elephant? He says, like, I feel like I'm being judged right now. Alright, Well. Is that a giant crocodile eating airplanes? I think that's photoshopped. Alright, what do we want to watch now? What do we want to see? That's a coyote with mage. Well, what do we want? That. You guys see that one? This one right here? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can tell what that is. It's called a costume. Rural residents spot strange creature. 2 minutes long. Let's see what this one is.
Now for a strange story out of rural Coffee County. Residents there say they've heard unusual animal sounds at night, and several ATV riders say they've seen unusual looking creatures in the distance. Today, Mike Gertzman spoke to a few people who are trying to figure out what is in the forest.
Yeah, I was walking around this area at the time. That was my bad.
Fucking Rel.
I can just say this. Something's going on in the woods. Something's going on. That's right. Timbuktu. And you know,
Covering coffee company.
Joe Blackburn and Tanner Medley work at
Turn down the exposure on your camera. Goddamn.
venue north of Enterprise.
Jesus Christ.
Recently, the
You
two
think a
men
cameraman
received
would know to do
reports
that?
From ATV riders of distant sightings of an unusual animal.
What the fuck is wrong with this cameraman? Turn down your fucking exposure. You're literally whitewashing everything. It's insane. You can't see shit. God damn.
In addition, folks in the area have heard a loud shriek at night, but it didn't sound like a coyote.
Yeah. We get a lot of feedback from the ATV riders, and one of those recent feedback in the last 21.
Like, look at this. Turn down the exposure. Like, just lower how much light you're letting in to your fucking sensor. That way things look, you know, real. And not like, I'm smothered in light.
30 days has been, hey, there's something strange. There's some knocking going on. We hear some screeches. They're not dogs. They're not coyotes. What could it be, right?
And this is not the first time there have
Oh
been
my
reports
God.
of an unusual creature in the woods. In
Fire
fact,
this
about
cameraman.
A decade ago, a crew out of California brought a lot of equipment trying to get a picture in the Asbury community. After reports of a Bigfoot or a skunk
Rel, is that you?
a terrible smell in that vicinity. Despite 3 nights in the forest, they never found any conclusive evidence of a creature.
When you dismiss all the erroneous possibilities, there's little left except
You can't even see the guy's actual face. My God. The most cryptid thing I've seen was probably my neighbors taking in groceries. I've only seen it once or twice. God damn.
I mean, it's not like we have wolves. We have coyotes. It's a very distinct sound.
The men say whatever's in the woods, it seems more frightened of humans. They ask if you've seen something unusual as far as a creature or heard something out of the norm in the woods, try and use your phone to get a picture or some form of evidence. Covering local news first in Coffee County, Mike Erspan, WDHN News.
News. All right. Well, that was a waste of time. That's kind of creepy looking. I'd probably freak the fuck out if I saw that. 5 cryptids that could actually exist. Random Thursday. It's Friday though. Also, if you guys want a good channel to listen to like creepy stories, Swamp Dweller is pretty good. There's also I think I saw him up here a little bit. Yeah, Darkness Prevails makes really good videos as well. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna play a video that I know kind of freaked me out, because I experienced literally exactly it later in the day. Midnight Broadcast, another great channel, by the way. They're still relatively new and they're growing. I've been following them since like both before they were at like 500 followers or subscribers. Like I watched every single one of their videos so far, even though it shows I didn't. I cleared my cookies at one point, so it's not all there. But where is it? Somewhere in here. I know I've watched it recently to show people. Yeah, they have one on the Breast of Bray Road as well. Okay, it's definitely from further back. The one that I'm looking for is way back here, probably. And I can't seem to find it. I'll find it. Don't you worry. I will find it. Oh, holy. My body is like trying to fight me right now. Because I know it was on this channel. It had to have been. So it was probably close to like the 6 or 7 months ago type thing that I watched it. McDonald's Skinwalker. Oh no. I'm kind of confused, but I can't find it right now. What the fuck? Like, I watched it literally the other day to, like, show somebody it. And this is starting to bother me that I can't find it. Okay. Also, they upload literally every single day at midnight. So, or midnight Central Time. So, it's a great channel if you want to watch spooky shit every day. Okay, was it not there? Where was it then? Might have been Saul, which is another great channel. But I doubt it was Saul. No, it definitely wasn't on his channel. I'm a little confused as to why I can't find it. Would it be in one of like the playlists that I made of like things to read? Winter in Bozeman. Oh yeah, so it was on Midnight Broadcast. I just didn't see it, I guess. I do actually have a glitch in real life story. Do you actually? If you want to type it out, I'd love to see it. So this right here. So mind you, with this story, okay. I had watched this earlier at about like 7 o'clock in the morning because the girl that I was seeing at the time, she got off work at 7 in the morning and then she wanted to, you know, come over, pick me up. Then we go to her place, chill for a little while, go to sleep, wake up, and then we would, you know, just do whatever the fuck, right? And we ended up going out later that night, and I've explained it several times on stream, but long story short, we were in her town, and we went through this like big ass field. We saw this really creepy looking like dog man looking thing, and I was like, what does it look like? And she was just like, what do you mean? Because she was telling me the story about when she last like sighted it. And then I was like, what does it look like? Tell me right now. And she's like, oh, okay, I was getting to that. But I was like, no, tell me now. She's like, okay. She's like, oh, it's this like, you know, 7-8 foot tall, like white, silver, gray furred fucking humanoid with like a dog head. I was like, has there always been a birch tree over there? And she was like, birch tree? There's no birch trees in this forest. And then stops and goes, oh shit. And it literally walked towards the forest, like tree line towards us. And we're like, yep, nope. And we fucking left. And now earlier in that night, we'd also experienced like a giant fucking deer came flying in front of our car, and my demon buddy thing, whatever you want to call it. I call him buddy just because I've associated with him at this point. Like he's my buddy. He turned and he looked at something, and he never looks away from me. Like if he's there, he's staring at me as if like I'm gonna eat you, and I'm like, you're not gonna eat me. We're buddies at this point. It's not gonna happen. You can't get past my little like enchantment barrier shit anyways. So he never gets too close. But he'd been missing for like 2 weeks, and then he showed up that night, and then like he turned and looked at something, and I was like, I grabbed her leg, and because my hand was on her leg, and kind of squeezed so she braked, and a giant fucking deer came flying past us. She's like, how the fuck did you see that? I was like, I didn't, he did, right? And then she's like, what the fuck? And then we drove around, and then we had that little experience, and Buddy wouldn't come near it. And Buddy is not afraid of nothing. He's usually the thing that scares things off. So this video pretty much explains exactly what we went through, but it's on the opposite side of our continent. This is on the West Coast. We're closer towards the East Coast. So it's pretty dope. But if you guys want to hear a robot voice telling the story, it's kind of fucking creepy. And we can dissect it as well while we're doing it.
Everybody gangster till the birch tree starts walking.
What?
Said everybody gangster till the birch tree starts walking.
Well, because I know there's no birch trees in that forest. You can just tell by looking at it. Like none of the trees there were birch, and you just see this giant white thing standing there. Like, and it's nighttime. It was like 3 a.m. and we're like, I don't know what the fuck that is, right? And we're getting closer towards it. And I was like, is that how many birch trees are in this forest? She's like, there's like none. And I was like, oh, okay, well, there's just one right there type thing. It's time to run. All right, but this kind of explains. It's almost exactly to a T. And I was like, this is kind of terrifying that I watched this the exact same day that all that happened. I was like, it was like a warning, so I knew what not to do kind of thing.
Grandpa is this tiny little, frail old man, but he's hardy as kick.
All right, I'm going to speed it up a little
He used to take
bit.
us snowshoeing up in the mountains and carrying most of the gear in the sled he pulled behind him. It was kicking cold up there. Your snout would be frozen before it left your nose. The times he did convince us to go out, we ended up staying in ice caves that Grandpa had carved into snowbanks earlier in the winter. It got dark really early, and of course no campfires because ice and snow everywhere. One year we're out there camping with Grandpa,
Yeah, but
and he's
this
really
one's
on
kind
edge
of
the whole trip.
creepy.
Don't ask him why, because we are stupid kids and don't think it matters. Random outbursts, yelling at us for not tying a knot right. Yelling at us for not keeping up with his insane pace. Stops hiking at about 2 p.m. nightfall isn't for another 3.5 hours. Me and brother exchange WTF looks with each other.
And also, she was telling me about like what she experienced with this thing before, and she'd seen like the creature before we went there, and it had like she literally just like couldn't find the people that she went into the forest with, and then like they just suddenly disappeared. So that's something to note because that happens in this as well. Okay.
Look around for his ice cave, there isn't one. Hey Grandpa, where are we camping? Grandpa is nowhere to be found.
Boop. Hey, how's it
Find
going,
his
Fen?
footprints, which is strange because snowshoes leave enormous footprints that you can't miss. Backtrack and refollow the
We're
trail to
watching
where we were
spooky
earlier.
shit.
Footprints just kicking
And
in
I'm
right
sitting
where
here
me and my
starving
brother
to
were when
death.
Grandpa told us
But
to
you
stop
know,
for
it'd
the
be to
day.
be.
After a lot of deliberation, we decide to head back, following our tracks back to the main road, where we will somehow flag down a car and get help to find our grandpa. We hike about an hour back the way we came. Suddenly hear voice.
Yeah, we do
Where the
spooky
hell have
stuff
you
on
kids been?
Fridays.
It's Grandpa and he's pissed. Says he was hiking along and all next time he turned around, we weren't there. Says our footprints just ended about 100 paces back from wherever he was when he realized we were gone. We tell him something similar happened to us, and we just got back from 2 miles ahead of us on the trail. Suddenly, he goes into wild animal hyper alert mode. Stops talking. I scanning forest around us, head pivoting side to side, trying to see everywhere at once, get freaked out and brother starts crying. Grandpa won't respond when we ask him what's wrong, quietly muttering incoherently to himself. After what seems like forever, Grandpa starts moving again. Simply says, "Follow me," and we do. Too scared to argue, but he's going in a third direction, i.e. not where we came from and not where we were originally headed. We are all hiking close together, literally stepping on each other's feet. Can't hold hands because of ski poles, but we would have if we could have. Eventually emerge in a clearing. I recognize it as a lake, but you'd never know it in the winter when everything is frozen solid. We get out on the ice and walk all the way to the middle of the lake before we stop. Grandpa tells us to get out our parkas, as we're going to be staying a while. Ask him what's happening. Doesn't answer. He gets out binoculars and starts to scan the shoreline. This is a pretty huge lake, so without binoculars, neither me nor my brother could really see anything besides little distant trees on the shore. At this point, Grandpa puts the binoculars down, unpacks a fairly large caliber revolver and holster, and puts it on his hip. He then picks the binoculars up and points them in the same direction he was looking a minute ago. Me and my brother both look in that direction. I can barely see something moving around. No, a couple things, all of various sizes. They're all hanging on the bank, though none of them leave the thick brush surrounding the lake, or venture onto the ice. After a few minutes, Grandpa silently hands me the binoculars. When I look at the movement on the shore, I almost shit my pants. There are 3 animals. 2 are what I can only assume are wolves. Maybe coyotes, but I don't think so. The bodies are just too long, almost snake-like. The third animal is some sort of all-white thing standing on 2 legs. The more I look at it, the stranger it seems. At first I took it to be a bear, just standing there on its hind legs. Then it starts walking, pacing around really, and the legs are just too long and slender to be a bear's. I sit down on the ice, lean up against my backpack, and get a more steady grip on the binoculars. Slowly realize that whatever it is has the approximate build of a human, but the head is clearly not a human head, some sort of animal I can't place. Ask Grandpa what the hell I'm looking at. Brother snatches binoculars away, and when he sees it, he labels it Bearman and wants to take a few.
Alright, so let's catch up with Charge just said in chat. It was quite simple. I had a device that had low battery, so I asked for his charger. He gave me the boxing cord, and once it was done, I realized the box was gone, but I had been watching this whole time. To this day, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, it was gone, and he had his charger box back. No one stole it because there was no way of sneaking it out. Second, things will fall. I see where it goes, but it's not there, and it isn't seen again. These experiences aren't scary, just really weird. Yeah, that's fair. Like, there's a lot of shit like that in real life, though. You're like, what the fuck? Glitch in the Matrix, man. Oh, you do? Okay. If you want to type it up, then we'll read it off.
Few shots at it. Grandpa says Indians used to dress up in animal furs in order to blend in with the animals they were hunting. Slightly stop shitting myself. It's just an Indian in a bearskin. And he has 2 dogs that look like wolves. And they're following us, but are afraid of ice. Start shitting my pants all over again as I realize that this is about 100 times weirder than a real bearman. It's starting to get dark, and we're still out there on the ice. We're all watching the Indian slash bearman slash whatever the fuck it is and his dogs slash wolves slowly wandering along the coastline, clearly avoiding the ice, but clearly trying to get out onto it somehow. Every once in a while, they'll change direction, as though they were pacing back and forth. In the time I have the binoculars, I see the thing, and his dogs slash wolves motionless and staring directly at us many times. No one breaks the silence for a long time. When it gets too dark to see anything on the shore, Grandpa relaxes, puts down the binoculars, and actually starts to make camp as though nothing had happened. Of course, we don't have a tent, but we do have sleeping bags, and bitey bags to keep the blowing snow off of them, and the wind off our faces. Me and my brother look at him like he's crazy.
We're going to sleep out here.
I say something like, what about that guy? Holy shit, he's right over there. Doesn't matter, we spend the long night in that exact spot. Next morning, we can't locate any animals or bearmen after 45 minutes of scanning the trees around the lake. Grandpa deems it safe enough to head back by now, and since he knows these woods so well, we take a different route back to the main road than we took to get there. After 1 mile, he's doubling back, staring at mountain tops and measuring angles between them with his arms, and I'm convinced he's lost. In the next moment, several things happen all at once. With no warning, a huge moose gallops out of seemingly thin air, and almost crushes my brother, managing to push him on the ground. Grandpa collapses for an unknown reason.
Okay, so a moose flying out of the woods. We had a giant fucking deer, like the largest doe I've seen in my entire life. It was not a buck, it was a doe, and it towered over our car, right? And it's not like she has a big car by any means, but it towered over the car, okay? So it was like, wait, like if I stood outside, like, because I'm as tall as most deer, like they might have like a few inches on me because I'm 6 foot, right? But generally, like, deer aren't that tall. This thing was probably close to like 8 feet tall. All right, a few years ago, I was chilling in my living room when Bean was a puppy. That's the name of her dog. I just finished grinding weed and put my grinder down on the arm of the chair I was sitting in. Bean jumped up, and after I got him down, I realized my grinder was gone. I didn't hear a cling like it hit the hardwood, but it wasn't on the chair. I looked under every piece of furniture, rearranged my living room in the process, and ripped all the cushions off of it. Never found it. Was more sad than scared because it was pretty cool. Piece with the Charmander evolutions on top. Oh, that kind of sucks. But I mean, like, at least you have a story now, right?
The three of us form a triangle, and in the middle is a slender person covered in all white fur, like a polar bear, and with a bear head, or maybe a mask, but it looked pretty damn lifelike. The two wolves, I'm sure they're wolves now, are circling at a distance, or rather, one is circling. I don't see the other. Bearman lets loose a scream like you imagine Bigfoot might make when caught in a bear trap. Grandpa half sits up, points revolver, and fires off 3 shots at the thing in rapid succession. Huge puff of snow like a silent explosion, and can't see anything for a few seconds. Now a second moose goes hurtling through, and after it's gone, and the snow has settled down, the bearman is gone too. No traces of blood to be found. Can still see the one wolf, pretty far away, but it's still circling. We proceed to book it out of the woods, taking the shortest and most direct route off the mountain. Think that Grandpa isn't really sure about where he's going, but nobody gives a shit, we have to keep moving. Still think I see the wolf out at the edge of my vision, several hundred feet out through the trees, or maybe it's both of them. We eventually do get back to Grandpa's car. Turns out he did know where he was going. It's been covered in fresh snowfall since we left it there. Underscore. There's 10-inch paw prints all the fuck over it and around it. Nope. We clean off the snow and see that there are dents in the hood, like hail fell on it, but they're right under where the paw prints were. Nope.tar.gz.biz.nope. On the drive home, we all swear to never speak of this to Grandma or to my mom. Have to swerve out of the way of a huge roadkill. Almost drive off the road. Stop just in time. The thing in the road is a huge mound of fur with no distinct animal-like forms. No head, no legs, no tail. Blood everywhere. Looks like a giant skin thrown over a giant mound of flesh. It moves. Nope. Grandpa peels the fuck out, drives home 30 miles per hour over the speed limit, and we never look back. And...
Oh, the sight must have been see the red mass of...
Alright, so, that right there, that story,
flesh in contrast to the white snow that...
is really spooky, because, like, I literally watched that video, and then we had something very similar happen. Now, Bozeman is on the west coast of the United States, and I live over on, like, I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so I'm on the east coast of the States, but I'm in Canada, so I'm in Southern Ontario. So the fact that, like, that's something very similar, not quite the same, right? Something similar happened. We were like, what the fuck? That being said, though, I really need to use the washroom. We're an hour and 15 minutes into the stream, and I've got to piss so goddamn bad. So I'm going to throw it on, be right back, and I will, well, obviously be right back. Rel, I'm not going to mute Discord and stream, but I see that you're already muted, so I'll let you guys know when I'm back. All right, have fun for a moment as I go to relieve myself of a urine problem of needing to remove it from my body. Okay.
Shout out to my boy, Charlo is dead. Shout out to my boy, Charlo is dead. Shout out to my boy. Charlo is dead.
All right, I have returned. Hello, hello, it is me. It's the boy. We're back. All right, I'm getting kind of freaking hungry. So, the Legend of G. What? How did? Oh, it says my playlist. That's why. Oh no, we're gonna see what my recommended on YouTube is. Oh no. Hey, look, it's recommending me. Are you guys watching me? You should be watching me. Welcome back. Thank you. I'm starving to death. I'm really fucking hungry, so I should probably try and sort that out at some point. Let's just search up cryptids and see if we can find anything else that's interesting, or if anyone has any like neat stories that we want to talk about. Top 5 monsters and cryptids of Canada. All right, well, let's click on that. Why not? Yes, you should probably eat at some point. Yes.
Top 5 monsters and cryptids of Canada. Known for being a country of friendly folks, Canada is one of the most pleasant places you can visit. But hiding behind its friendly people, lush greenery, and nearly 2 million lakes are stories of very strange.
I just ordered McDonald's, and you didn't order me McDonald's?
Top 5 monsters
My
and
gosh.
cryptids of Canada.
All right, without giving away
Number 5,
what city we live in, or town, or whatever you want to call it, what end do you live on? Because I'll come over and I'll eat all your
one of
McDonald's.
the most versatile predators on the planet, the canids are truly impressive. This family includes domestic dogs,
LMAO.
jackals, dingoes, wolves, foxes, and more. They're not just impressive with their hunting skills, but
South?
they've also spread out
Oh,
all
that's
across
far.
the globe, living on every single continent. Even though we've cataloged most of the canids, it's possible that in remote locations there are still species we've yet to encounter. The 𝐭𝐲𝐬 is said to be one of these creatures. Found in
down
the
the street
Nahanni
from
Valley of the
the hydro?
Northwest Territories,
Okay.
the 𝐭𝐲𝐬 is described as a cross between a bear and a wolf. For decades, the local Indian tribes of the valley have told stories of an enormous wolf-like beast roaming the region. But while the creature looks similar to a wolf, it's said to be larger with a heavier build, shorter legs, and is extremely aggressive. It's also described as having larger feet with wider spaced toes compared to that of a wolf. The feet act as snowshoes when traversing during winter. One eyewitness described the beast as simply looking like a wolf on steroids. Unlike wolves that hunt in packs, however, the 𝐭𝐲𝐬 is said to be a solitary hunter. Many of the indigenous tribes even attribute it with supernatural powers. Curiously, the Nahanni Valley, which is the
Yeah, your
creature's
place is
main
like 15 on the
territory,
15th.
is also steeped in mysterious occurrences. In fact, the valley has gained
Too bad
itself
buses
a
aren't
rather
running now.
ominous and gruesome nickname, as it's called the Headless Valley among locals. The reason is that for decades, people who dared ventured into the area have been found dead, and all the corpses
Just gotta go
found
grab my
headless.
bike.
The first of these were the McLeod
Well,
brothers in
after
1908.
stream, if you're still awake
The
at
two
2
went into the
a.m.,
valley
I'll just go grab my
prospecting
bike
for
and I'll ride
gold, but For
over.
a whole year, nothing was heard from them.
Steal all
until
your
their headless
McDonald's.
bodies were found by a river. Years later, another Swiss prospector suffered the same fate, followed by a miner found in the area with his head cut off as he lay in
Sad.
his sleeping bag. Ali, the Naha tribe, disappeared from the region years prior to the first headless corpse
Maybe I'll
being
get lucky
found.
and Gecky will show
Why
up
they
here that
chose
I'm
to leave,
hungry and just
though,
send me
No
food.
one knows for sure.
It's okay then.
Many parts of the valley remain unexplored, and it's said that the 𝐭𝐲𝐬 could be the reason for the deaths. Some reports of this beast
Imagine
have also
Gecky's streaming,
come
so
from
I doubt he'll
Alaska,
show up.
Ontario, and even northern Michigan.
Ontario.
Many agree that this beast is a
Gotta
sort
rely
of
on the
wolf
Sims.
species, but some argue that they're remnants of the bear dog population from prehistoric times. These creatures once roamed the land and are thought to have died out 2 million years ago. Others say the 𝐭𝐲𝐬s are relatives of the direwolf population that were rampant during the Pleistocene era. Today, many still avoid exploring the Nahanni Valley further out of fear they'll be the next ones to be found headless. Number 4, Wendigo.
You said it wrong.
Popular in some Native American legends, the Wendigo is a cryptid most famous
You said it
among
wrong.
the Algonquins. They've been reported in much of North America
They don't have
and
antlers.
all along the Atlantic coast and Great Lakes area. Roughly translated as
That's what they look
the
like.
evil spirit that devours mankind, or
close.
cannibal, the Wendigo is said to have such an insatiable hunger for human flesh that even if
Travel
it
through the
feeds,
valley in a
it
tank. Yeah,
continues
pretty
to
much.
grow hungry for more. This curious hunger reflects in its physical appearance, as they often project thin physiques with sallow or yellowish skin. Their
Okay,
eyes glow
so
and they bear fat.
the Native American, like, hold on, let me really quickly, just, I'll bring it up real quick and read it on Wikipedia. All right, so it technically Wendigo is correct, but also completely incorrect. So the word appears in Native American languages and has many alternative translations. Source of the English word is the Ojibwe word Wendigo, or Windigoo. So it's Wendigo, pretty much, or Wendigo, or whatever, right? In the Cree language, it is, not even going to attempt to translate that, but it's got like an H and a K and a W in it. Also translated as Wetiko. Other translations include Windigo, Wendigo, 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 Wendiga, Wendigo, Wendagu, Winjagu, Weejagu, Weejagu, Weejigu. I don't know how to probably say these differently. But there is one, no, or apparently, no, hold on. No, apparently none of these has a fucking, no, they're completely incorrect. It's not dingo. None of these have it. Never mind. Yep. All right, never mind. I was pretty sure there was one that had it, and I could give them an excuse, but apparently not. Yep, nope, none of these have that. So, continuing on. But yeah, the pronunciation is not good.
Fangs along with long tongues. Some of the tribes describe the creatures being giants, or at least much larger compared to regular human beings. Legends say Wendigos are created when a human resorts to cannibalism to survive.
Wendigo.
This wasn't uncommon back in the day, especially during the harsh Canadian winter months. Native Americans and settlers in remote regions often found themselves with no option but to cannibalize their dead in order to survive. As for sightings, they've been reported for centuries. During the 1800s, a Wendigo appeared in a small town of Rousseau in northern Minnesota.
Wendigo.
According to the people, when a
not what it looks
Wendigo
like.
is first spotted, death is likely to follow. The town was plagued with several
I gotta get
deaths
sleep.
over the
All right,
course of
take it
years,
easy, Chard.
but
Thanks for stopping
eventually
by.
they died down along with the story of the Wendigo as well.
Wendigo.
Another popular story related over the years is that of Jack Fiddler. He was an OG Cree chief known for having the power to defeat and kill Wendigos. Most often, family members would ask for Fiddler to kill their own family members because they were becoming a Wendigo, having an insatiable desire to kill and eat human flesh. In 1907, Fiddler, together with his brother Joseph, were arrested by the Canadian authorities for killing a female. Fiddler told them that he only killed the girl because she was transforming into a Wendigo, but nonetheless, he was placed in prison. However, he was granted pardon, but never got to experience it since he died 3 days before it was set to take effect. Curiously, the term Wendigo is considered a mental issue or psychosis that occurs in humans. This psychosis is a syndrome that creates an intense craving for human flesh and the fear of becoming a cannibal. Curiously, many of the people who suffer from this psychosis
fun fact,
are situated within
human
the Great
flesh
Lakes
tastes
of
like
Canada
pork.
and the United States. This psychosis normally becomes present during winter months among groups or people who live remotely or isolated in heavy snow for long periods. The symptoms first appear as loss of appetite, nausea, and vomiting. Eventually, though, they transform into a craving for human flesh and at the same time an intense fear of turning into a cannibal. This type of psychosis has been reported for hundreds of years in the area. In fact, in 1661, A document by the Jesuits states of how this condition affected their deputies and made them so ravenous for human flesh that they pounce upon women, children, and even men like veritable werewolves and devour them voraciously without being able to appease or glut their appetite. Today, many still report sightings of the Wendigo,
Not what it looks like.
especially in northern Ontario. Most
Yep.
people who report these are trappers, traders, and townspeople alike.
Yep. Okay, so everyone's like, "Oh, I saw a Wendigo. It had antlers and but no, that's not a Wendigo. Or essentially not the native Wendigo. So there's the Pet Cemetery series by Stephen King. He describes a Wendigo like that because it is what gives the power for everything to come back from the dead. Makes no sense. It's just part of the story, right? Because he took something that not a lot of people knew about and wrote about it, right? And put it in his story. And in the movie, it looks like that. And in the book, he describes it like that. But a Wendigo does not have antlers. It does not have a skull face. It is a human face with like the side of the mouth, like kind of like where my mouth opens. You see, at the sides, it opens up further back, so you can get to the canines, just so it can eat more. So think Until Dawn's version. Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much, that's a very good rendition of what they're supposed to be. However, there's the theory that like supernatural beings and creatures of such come to life the more people that believe in it. Same concept with gods and whatnot. The gods die if you stop believing in them. They'll come back if you begin to believe in them. So things such as Siren Head or Slender Man or something like that, or the Rake, could come to life the more people believe that it's real. Now that's just kind of like a similar concept as like with Native American lore and with a lot of like European lore and stuff of like pagan type shit, where essentially you give energies into the world and you manifest things. So in Native American like cultures, a lot of it is your negative energies can manifest a spirit, an evil spirit that attacks you and others, right? And then there's also ones where it's like the conglomerative dark energies of people, right, created this particular spirit. A lot of like pagan stuff is also similar to this. There's, I don't know enough about Norse paganism to know, but essentially to my knowledge, there was a war against something similar to this. Similar to like how Odin fought the frost giants, he fought something similar to this as well. Though a much weaker war because the frost giants were obviously the strongest. So there's a theory that the more people that believe that, say, Slender Man, or, you know, this version of the Wendigo, or skinwalkers that are how we describe them now as opposed to what they really are, can, in theory, create them that way. You know what I mean? So, like, it's possible maybe Siren Head becomes real, right? Just because enough people believe in it. Skinwalkers are real? No. I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying that the version that people explain as, you know, because skinwalkers are actually, I believe it's like a form of like Mexican shaman or some shit like that. And they went into a black arts and then they learned how to transform into animals and into people. So, but generally when you think skinwalker, you think of this thing that can transform into me and can steal my voice and can do this, that, whatever, right? Even though it has nothing to do with Mexico, even though that's like they come from Mexico and the southern states. So that's the theory on that one, at least. So even though essentially that more describes a goat man than anything in North America, but yeah. All right, let's press play and see what the next one is.
Number 3, Ogopogo.
Oh man, this is just, it's just like
With more
British
than 2 million
Columbian
lakes
Loch
sprawled
Ness.
across the country, it's no surprise Canada has its fair share of lake serpents and monsters. And one of the most
We have a lot of
well-known
them,
these
actually.
is the Ogopogo. Considered as America's Loch Ness, the Ogopogo resides in Lake Okanagan in British Columbia. Reports of the monster predate Nessie in the media by about 7 years. The Ogopogo was acknowledged and reported in 1926 by Roy W. Brown, an editor for the Vancouver Sun. He stated too many credible people have reported seeing the creature that it's hard to dispute it as fact. In fact, sightings of the 𝐭𝐽 actually date back all the way to the 1800s. As for what it looks like, this creature is said to measure 1 to 2 feet in diameter and about 15 to 20 feet long. Its head is likened to a goat or horse, and it's often mistaken for a log in the water. Well, there have been a number of popular sightings. Some of the most famous include one that occurred on July 2nd, 1947, when several boaters saw a creature at the same time. One of them, a man named Mr. Cray, said the creature had a long body that had to be at least 30 feet long. He noticed 5 undulations protruding from the water, while the rest of it was underneath. He also described it as having a forked tail, and it would occasionally submerge itself in the water and then slowly break up to the surface again. Another sighting came in 1959 when 2 sets of couples saw a large creature with a snake-like head and blunt nose swimming about 250 meters behind them in their motorboat. They watched the animal for about 3 minutes, then it submerged in the water completely and disappeared. Another sighting happened in 1989 when hunting guide Ernie Giroux and his wife were standing on the banks of the lake and saw a large animal with a round head. It measured about 15 feet long, and Giroux described it as swimming gracefully, yet really fast. There have been many other sightings throughout the years. Most recently in 2015, Bill Stesiak was out on his condo balcony when he saw a creature's head pop up from the water. He grabbed his
That'd be
camera and
freaky.
shot 4
Just chilling on your balcony and
consecutive
go, "Oh,
photos
fuck."
before the creature then disappeared. Many of the people reporting the sightings are all credible, but still today, the 𝐭𝐽 remains a mystery. Many think that the creature is still there in the lake, just waiting for the day when someone finally proves its existence once and for all. Number 2.
There's an idea. Just go prove it. Come on, guys. Adlet.
At
What's
first
this?
glance, you might think the adlet is the precursor, or even the same as a werewolf. Originally hailing from North America Inuit legends, the adlet looks like the classic werewolf, except that these creatures are not shapeshifters. Legend states the adlet was born from a woman named 𝐵𝐸𝐸𝐸,
Oh, I
who
do
gave
know this.
birth to these half-dog creatures. While living with her father, 𝐕𝐸𝐸𝐸, the woman refused to take a husband and always said no to suitors. Instead, she decided to marry a dog named 𝐂𝐴𝐚. She then gave birth
Fucking
to 10 of their
furry.
children, 5 of which were born as dogs, while the other 5 were adlets, creatures with a human body and wolf-like legs. 𝐁𝐫𝐴𝐚 relied on his father-in-law to provide food for his family, but since he was unhappy with this arrangement, he ended up drowning and killing the dog. In an act of vengeance, 𝐵𝐸𝐸𝐸 told her children to attack her father, biting off his hands and feet. Then she sent half of her children inland, where they interbred with other humans. Others crossed the oceans and were said to be the ancestors of Europeans. Those who remained with their mother became cannibalistic warriors and blood drinkers. The adlets are said to be covered in red fur with sharp talons on both its hands and feet. They also carry a pronounced snout with pointed ears and long tails, while their eyes glow in a bright yellow hue. Even more, the adlets are ruthless killers, stalking prey and roaming around the northern regions of America like Quebec, Newfoundland, Labrador, and even Greenland. They will feed on anything but have a particular taste for human flesh and warm blood. Usually they hunt in packs like common wolves and are led by an alpha male. The leader is often distinguishable since it's bigger and more ferocious than the others. Attacks are preceded by mournful and piercing howls, which often subdue the prey or paralyze them with fear. Once the adlet attacks, they take time to kill their prey. Their strong jaws can crush bones and reduce the victims to a pulp within just minutes. To stop the beast, fire or silver is needed. Adlets fear fire more than anything. However, if they are desperate, they will still attack a hunter bearing a torch. Another story relates that they are near invincible creatures who heal quickly, and save for fire and silver, nothing can kill an adlet. Number 1.
I didn't like that wolf had
𝐵𝐸𝐸𝐸.
titties.
Canada is no stranger to lake monsters.
Is this the
We've
Saskatchewan
encountered
one?
the 𝐭𝐽 earlier, but did
This
you
might
know
be the
there's another
Saskatchewan
lake
one.
monster said to be hiding in Lake Manitoba?
Manitoba.
It's called the 𝐵𝐸𝐸𝐸. Named
That
in
makes sense.
1957, it's described as being anywhere from 12 to 50 feet long. It has a muddy brown body
It's a big
with
difference.
large humps, usually the one showing above the water, and a sheep-like head. The existence of the Manipogo has been recorded and claimed since the 1800s. The local natives in the area have also told tales of famous serpent legends found in Lake Manitoba. One of the first well-documented sightings of the creature happened in September.
Hey, how's it going, Gicky?
1909.
What you up to, man?
Fur trader for the Hudson Bay Company, Valentine McKay, reported seeing a large creature in the water. In 1935, timber inspector C.F. Ross and a friend saw a creature that they described as looking like a dinosaur with a single horn on its head. In 1948, another sighting was reported. This time, the witness said he saw the serpent rise out about 6 feet from the lake's water and give some sort of animal cry. The sightings continued on into the 50s and 60s.
How was your stream, though,
1989,
Gecky?
a family
You
visited
were
from Indianapolis
playing Call of Duty?
stayed at Shallow Point for a
Or were you
camping
playing
trip.
something else? Because I saw
They
your thing
saw a
said
creature
zombies.
that they said had many humps about 80 feet from off the lake shore. In 2004, a commercial fisherman named Keith Haddon reported that his fishing nets were torn up by what seemed to be an ocean shark or a killer whale while he was fishing in the narrows of Lake Manitoba one day. He said the fishes inside the nets were not nibbled on, but instead torn in half in what looked to be huge bites. Various sightings were also seen afterwards,
Playing
often
something else? What were you
involving
playing?
witnesses seeing humps in the water. Today, the legend of the Manipogo lives
Ah,
on.
fair.
There are those that are skeptical of the idea
Yeah, I'm
of
sitting
a
here
serpent
starving to
living in
death
the
when we
lake.
started talking about
They
cryptids
believe
and
it
shit.
might just be a giant sturgeon or some form of whale that is yet to be identified or discovered by science. Several attempts at finding carcasses or breeding population of the creature have been launched, but for now, there's no
She went
concrete
pretty well, in my
evidence
opinion.
found.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
So there were the top 5 monsters and cryptids of Canada. We may have advanced technology to help us uncover the mysteries of this.
All right, yeah. So we started watching cryptids and stuff, and it was supposed to be an IRL day, but I was like, man, I literally just like stayed in bed all fucking day because I just wasn't feeling good. I didn't get out of bed till 10 p.m. and I was like, I stream at 11, so I was like, oh god, somebody kill me. But I was just like, I didn't eat or nothing. Like I was just dying. But it was one of those days where I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna live. I'll just do my thing. Like fuck it. I don't know. And then I started upstream. Actually, I went out. I grabbed a beer, had a dirt, and then I came in. I started streaming, and I've just been like, Oh, use the food command. Is it working? I know it might have been having issues earlier. Hold up, let me check. Food delivery is currently undergoing maintenance. Please check back later. Sorry for the inconvenience. That's sad. Rip. Ripperoni. It's okay. I'll just starve to death. It's under maintenance. Shit. Well, I don't like that Tree Stream keeps doing that for Canada. Like they should just have like something else like DoorDash or Uber Eats or something like that. They only use Skip the Dishes and it just never fucking works. Like I love Skip the Dishes in person, right? Like if I were to like pull up my phone right now, hold on, let me check my phone. All right. And if I pull up Skip, all right. Sorry to leave you hungry. We're currently experiencing technical difficulties and aren't able to process orders. We are working on resolve this issue ASAP. Stay tuned. Oh, so apparently Skip itself is down. Never mind then. It's actually it. Still, more reason the Treat Stream should be using like DoorDash and like Uber Eats and whatever else there is. But whatever. It's okay. I'll just starve to death. Or maybe I'll like, I don't even know. Because I think I've only got like $5 to my name. And I think that's in it's in PayPal. So I can't even actually pull it out. Because you need $10 in PayPal to actually like pull it out. So yeah, boy, be broke. Can't even walk up to a Mickey D's. But crap. Scariest monsters and cryptids ever caught on camera. That's an hour long. I'm gonna watch that later. All right. I pulled $5 the other day. Nani? From PayPal? You can't. You literally can't. Hold on, let me check. Let me go to PayPal on my computer. I did though. Like that's not possible. It literally has a $10, like $5 American, $10 Canadian. Sure. Give me the security code through my phone. Trust this device. Bring it up. I transferred $5.67 to my card. I've got $5.28 Canadian in my account. Let's see. Transfer money. Transfer to your bank. Minimum transfer amount $10 USD. So, nope. Unless I have to like convert it to Canadian first. Manage currencies. Convert currency to Canadian. Next. Convert now. Done. All right. I'll go back over to my summary. All right. Transfer money. See if it works. PayPal is gaslighting me. I literally did it 2 days ago. All right. Transfer to your bank. All right. Let's check. Minimum transfer is $15. Nope. Unless you have like a business account, but I don't. PayPal is literally gaslighting me. All right. Oh well. Maybe I'll get lucky and people will be like, "This man is entertaining by watching cryptids and aliens and spooky stuff." And I'll be like, "Oh, maybe." Maybe we'll hit that Bob Ross goal where we put on a Bob Ross video and we start using MS Paint. Panda cry. Lol. 5 unknown beasts caught on camera. No. What do we want to watch? What do we got on here? Has anyone got any stories? Do we still want to doing this? Do we want to do something else? Do we want to play something else tonight? Do we want to watch something else? What do we want to do? Because Rel is still in this call. He's just muted. And it looks like he's playing Phantasy Star Online. The fuck is that? I kind of want to see what the hell this is. Let's look it up.
Dashboard cameras are a necessity in cars in order to record incidents that happen on the roads and to provide proof of any
That's a lot of cameras in that car.
to show whether they were responsible or not. As they're permanently recording, they capture other things on the road too and are becoming an increasingly common source.
I'm still here. I'm just playing PSO2 on my other mod.
Yeah, I figured.
And inexplicable videos together. So here are 15 mysterious encounters that were caught on dashcam. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification.
This channel is called Americano.
Videos every day. With that being
Every
said,
day.
let's begin. Number 15. Motorcycle rider sees ghost. In this video,
Oh shit, they see a
driving
ghost?
along a quiet dark road in India and accidentally misses the turning he needs to get home. Instead of turning back on himself, he decides to continue along until the next junction. But this was a decision he ended up regretting. He traveled along miles upon miles of road without any sign of anyone else along the route. He had ventured far away from civilization, and this is the last place you'd expect to see anyone at this time of night. But with his headlight in high beam to see the road ahead, the unmistakable shape of a person
What the fuck?
begins to come into view. It's a woman who's walking in the opposite direction to him. She doesn't have any lights with her and certainly doesn't appear to be dressed appropriately for these conditions or have any supplies with her. With at least 5 miles to any destination from this point, is it possible that this is a person who's decided to take on the pitch black journey by foot? Or, as the driver suspected, was she a ghost who routinely walks back and forth along this stretch of road? It's possible that she was one of the victims of an accident that had happened there a few years earlier, and she remained to either help prevent others from suffering the same
No,
fate,
thank you.
or maybe to try and cause more accidents. Who knows? What do you think?
No, thank
Time
you.
for the rear topic. This is one of the most frightening and
What the
mysterious
fuck?
footage that's ever been caught on dashcam, and still to this day, no one has an answer.
It literally looks like a drawing that was put into a video. What the fuck?
A country road, and there was no sign of civilization for miles around. With just his headlights to illuminate the way, he was shocked when suddenly a creature was lit up in the road ahead. This wasn't your usual encounter with wildlife on the road, however, and he would have probably preferred to be facing a deer or a bear. Instead, he found this creature, which almost looks like a buffalo if it wasn't for the fiendish mouth on its face, with an almost circular row of sharp teeth.
Okay, but if it's dash cam, show the video, not just an image, because that doesn't match the shit around it.
If it truly is a species that hasn't been discovered before, what would you name it? As always, comment down below with the hashtag.
It's not dash cam.
And let us know your opinion.
Is this dash cam? Serious encounters caught on dash cam. That's not dash cam.
Number 14.
Oh, it was just
Strange creature
nope.
crossing. This next footage was recorded on the dash cam of a police car. The officer is rushing to find
Oh yeah, I've seen this one.
he knows has taken place somewhere down the road. But on his way, he and his partner encounter something very strange.
Yeah, they fucking see a Bigfoot.
To make out on the video the first time you see it, but a strange creature runs across the road in front of them. It seems like a dark shadow, but then becomes more clear as an animal covered in dark fur that's running on 4 legs. It's moving at an unbelievable speed.
It's like a wolf or a Bigfoot or some shit. People are like, what the fuck was that?
Is it a normal animal that's been spooked and looks strange in the lighting conditions? Or is there something more mysterious going on here? It seems too fast, doesn't it? Could this mean it's a previously undiscovered animal? The officers tried to see if they could find it again, but to no avail. This is one encounter that's destined to never be solved. Do you have any idea what it is? Number 13. Massive red-orange flash. This video was recorded on the dash cam of a driver who was traveling along the highway in the Russian Ural Mountains when he suddenly came across a very unusual environment display. The entire light was lit up with an orange and red light that grew out of nowhere. And once it
Could be like a
reaches its
meteor or
peak
some shit.
intensity, it fades back into darkness once more. It's a stunning sight, but more importantly, what kind of event could have produced so much light that it illuminated the night sky?
Well, I mean, it's just a good old
There are
Russian
number
dropping
of
a nuke.
explanations that have been suggested since the video was shared online, such as a volcanic eruption, a fire at a factory, or maybe even cloud lightning. Some have suggested more radical ideas too, like a secret Russian spacecraft launch, a UFO
Wouldn't
that
surprise
visited
me.
Earth and was landed in the mountains, or that it was caused by a meteor as it entered the Earth's atmosphere. Each of
That would
these
make sense.
certainly go some way to explaining the bright light, but they're by no means definite, and it could have been countless other things too. If you were to guess, what would
Like
you
a
say was the cause
really,
of the flash
really
that night?
bright
Number
flashlight.
12. Car collision from nowhere. When you're driving, there's one thing you want to avoid at all costs: crashing. But what if there were invisible objects on the road that you could crash into without any warning? That's what seems to be the case in Singapore, as this video shows. The car ahead is waiting at a junction for the perfect opportunity to cross. You see cars on the other side at first, but now there's no sign of any, and virtually everyone in the world will see this as ample opportunity to make the maneuver. As he pulls forward though, another vehicle appears in front of him and they collide. Luckily, no one was injured.
What the
in the incident,
fuck?
but was there any way it could have been prevented? If you watch the video back, you can see that there's absolutely no sign of the other vehicle at all. The driver didn't stand a chance. The other car definitely had a physical presence because the two hit into one another. But is it possible that it was a ghost and only appeared
What
at
the
just the
fuck?
wrong moment? Is there any other way that this incident can be explained without resorting to otherworldly phenomena? After studying it closely, many experts say there isn't. The car doesn't approach from the other side, there are no secret junctions, and the driver in front of the one recorded is being so cautious before crossing, he surely would have seen something. How would you explain it? Number 11. Yeti found in Russia. This Russian man was driving through
No,
an
thank
empty,
you.
dark and snow-covered road one night, and while the conditions outside in the midst of the Russian winter seem inhospitable to virtually any animal, he encounters something hard to explain. As he's slowly moving forward, a human-like creature can be seen in the distance, but it's covered in snow-white fur. There's no way that this was a person, because the road is so far away from any town or
How
village
is this
that
a
they would have
dash
to travel
cam?
many miles in these awful conditions. It's walking in a similar way to a big ape, like a gorilla. But again, it couldn't be one of them because of the sub-zero temperatures. Many who've seen the footage,
He's
including the
walking.
driver
How is this a
himself,
dash
are
cam?
convinced
I'm kind of judging this video a lot.
Yeti has been caught on camera. Thought to live in the nearby mountains, these creatures are said to be distant relatives of Bigfoot and are equally as shy when it comes to human interactions. Whatever it is, it stays in the distance.
Actually, they're not
and
known
waits
for
the
being
car
shy. They're known for
sneaks back
eating
off
people.
into the darkness. It's never been seen since.
Oh,
The
maybe he's on a
story and the
motorbike or an
video
ATV or a
re-energized
snowmobile or some shit.
locals' beliefs about its existence, and several search parties have been sent out to see if they could find evidence themselves. So far, these efforts have failed to provide anything of substance, but it'll only take one lucky photo to support what was seen in this video and confirm the existence of the abominable snowman once and for all. Number 10. Ghostly hitchhiker? Have you ever hitchhiked? And if so, how easy was it to get someone to pick you
I
up?
almost did
This
one
video
time,
was
but then I
recorded
decided
on
not to.
dashcam in Singapore shows a hitchhiker stood in the middle of a side road with their hand held out. But there's something not quite right about this person.
There's no legs.
If it is in fact a person at all. The vehicle is traveling along the road at high speed and there's barely any other traffic on the road. As it passes a junction, however, you can make out the strange hitchhiker, but they appear to be transparent and far taller than you'd expect of a human. Is this then a ghost trying to make its way home for the evening? Or perhaps someone who lost their life while hitchhiking in the same place? To make things even weirder, this apparition was only there momentarily. The driver, having sensed that something was there, looked in his rearview mirror to take another look, but the road user had vanished into thin air. Is this a ghost, do you think? Or is there something much more obvious that's going on? Number 9. Ghost Bride. This woman was driving through a country lane in western Russia late at night when she came across something that would send shudders down her spine. She begins on a lit highway and makes a turn into the small road that takes her back to her home. As she gets onto the road though, there's something in the way. What looks like a wedding dress. But how has it stood up? Her dash cam captures the moment she stops in front of the bride, standing incredibly still for
Holy
such a
fuck,
cold
my
night.
body is killing me with
Looking
these
through the
hiccups.
footage that was caught, researchers are convinced that this is actually the ghost of a bride. In the 80s, there was a huge car accident on this exact stretch, and a wedding party died almost instantly. The newly married couple didn't survive, and the bride was wearing a dress that looked exactly.
Is it the ghost of a door?
Why do you think she
Or a refrigerator?
No, you can see little feet.
Or has she been a regular visitor ever
It
since
looks
that
like a
fateful day?
refrigerator.
Do you even believe that this is
No,
a
look in the
ghost?
middle,
Or
there's
could it
feet.
be a piece of junk that someone has annoyingly left there? Make sure to let us
I
know.
don't see
Number
feet.
8. Policeman
I see a
evaporates
refrigerator.
here. This footage is of a routine
Policeman
investigation
evaporates? Oh
conducted by
no.
a police officer in the US. It begins like any other that are carried out thousands of times around the world each day, but this one's about to take a surprising turn. The cop approaches the car to ask the driver for his license and registration, but a blinding white light starts to shine from somewhere down below. It engulfs the police officer, and once it dies down, he's nowhere to be seen. The only trace of him can be seen on the ground where he was standing. It's a pile of his clothes that are smoldering. What happened to the cop? And did the driver in the car have anything to do with it? The officer was never seen again, and authorities were stunned.
He
when they
got
saw this
𝐂𝐴𝐻𝐿.
footage. After having been forced
He
to
got
leave his vehicle from the side
𝐂𝐴𝐻𝐿.
of the road, they attempted to track down the driver who'd been stopped, but were unable to locate him. So this disappearance remains a complete mystery. What do you
What
think
the
happened?
fuck?
Did the cop spontaneously combust? Was he taken by aliens? Or was this some sort of anti-cop weapon that the driver used because he knew he was about to be found?
Anti-cop weapon, okay.
Illegal. We
Only
may
works
know
on police
Number
officers.
7.
Zap, bitch.
Raining fire. When you're driving, the weather conditions can change in an instant. What begins as a sunny day can soon become cloudy and then perilously rainy. But this video shows just how unpredictable the weather can truly be. A driver in China is caught in severe traffic in this street. What's about to happen, however, meant that he wasn't complaining that he'd been forced to remain so far back. As you can see, there's a slight storm at the time, but I bet you've never seen rain like this. Suddenly, a shower of fire falls down across the road, which engulfed everything and sends sparks flying everywhere. If you slow the footage down, however, you can see exactly what's happened. A lightning bolt hits the trees to the left and instantly turns them into flames. The pieces of burning wood are sent flying in all directions and causes an incredible sight. Fortunately,
Oh, that'd be
no one was
spooky.
injured during the event, but the cars that lay in the path had scorch marks all over their paintwork. Number 6. UFO caught on dashcam. What's the most surprising thing you've ever caught on camera? And once
These
it's
hiccups are
over, how
killing me,
long was it
dude.
until you
Oh my
checked
god.
back over your recording to see
I'm
if you
literally in
captured
so
it
much
properly?
pain.
This next driver witnessed something so unusual that we bet he reviewed his footage almost instantly. He's driving along a busy street in India, and you can see how busy the place is. There are bikes everywhere going in all sorts of directions, other vehicles that appear like they're just about to drive onto the road, and a number of pedestrians too. So far it's a normal street, but have you noticed what's hovering in the sky to the left? It took the driver a while to notice too, but it's the distinct shape of a flying saucer just hovering there. Could it be possible that this driver has inadvertently caught evidence of alien visitors on his camera, or perhaps even a military test flight? It seems like it'd be a strange flight path for anything to choose, but the presence of this unidentified object is undeniable. What do you think? Is it proof that they
That's
kind
kinda
of
weird.
or is it a clever forgery? Number 5. Police catches Fireball on cam as they spend so much time on the road and have to record their movements to provide evidence.
Yeah, that's called a meteorite.
Dash cams quite often capture unusual and amazing events on film. This footage is what was recorded by an officer in Hamilton County, and it's thought by many to be a meteorite falling through the Earth's atmosphere. While that may sound like an everyday
Okay, friend, I
occurrence,
go to bed now.
around it,
Okie
it's
doke.
incredible and
You'll
most
have a good
definitely
night.
not
Bye-bye.
something that happens very often. It's nighttime.
I'm gonna sit here starving, wanting McDonald's now, and it's all your fault.
Starts to streak across the sky and seems just like you'd imagine it to look if a UFO was landing. Unsurprisingly, it wasn't just the cop who witnessed this, and hundreds of other people in the area saw it.
It's okay, I'm
Event
just gonna
triggered
cry.
Countless calls to the emergency services, many of which claimed they'd just seen a UFO land.
If I had the money from Mickey D's, I'd install another app just to get it.
Reassure those that were panicking. It's rare
Don't you
enough to
pat
see
me.
this phenomenon, but to catch it
I'll
on
go
camera
cry.
is a 1 in a million
Alright, take it
chance.
easy.
It's thought that all of the material in the meteor burned up before reaching the ground, though. So those who were hopeful of retrieving a piece of space rock for themselves were left disappointed. Number 4. Random falling trees. This video is being recorded from the dash cam of a driver who's traveling along a forest road, and it appears as if there's a storm brewing. While the aerials on his vehicle don't seem to be affected by the wind too much, debris can be seen blowing across the street, and the branches on the trees are wobbling. Suddenly, as he turns a corner, a tree begins to fall down towards the road, and then a whole line collapses behind it into the street as well. It's lucky that he was able to stop in time, because once
God
it
damn.
calmed down, it's impossible to see any of the tarmac. He would have almost certainly been hit if he was even a few feet further ahead, and this could have led to serious injury. In
Yeah,
this
it could have
scenario,
hurt.
everyone managed to get away unscathed, but it was days until this stretch of road was cleared, and people could once again pass by. Number 3. Forest fire in their neighborhood.
Why would it take days? You got a car right there, just hitch it and then move it, then pull it to the side, then push it over.
Sometimes they can be impossible to predict, and one moment you'll be going to the store to buy some food, and the next moment you'll realize you may not have a house left to cook it in. Here's what happened when a
What the fuck was with Lisa Simpson there? What the fuck?
neighborhood. The sky is bright orange because of the fire in the distance.
This was real. This is terrifying. Like, this isn't even like creepy or like spooky or cryptids or anything. This is just fucking terrifying.
Directly towards them. Despite the impending danger, the drivers have no choice but to continue because this is the only way out. And as you can see, things are about to get a whole lot worse. The smoke thickens and burning embers begin to rain down on them from the sky. It looks like something that's been taken directly from an apocalypse movie. Amazingly, everyone from their neighborhood managed to escape to safety before the flames took hold of their homes, and there were no reported injuries at all. Number 2. Plane crashes into road. Roads are designed to be used by cars, bikes, and trucks, but what happens if another vehicle tries to use one? In 2012, this driver was traveling along a
it goes
highway
bang.
near to an airport in Moscow, and it was only because of his quick reactions that he managed to avoid any injury. An aircraft suddenly crashes into the side of the road and debris is sent flying into his path. It knocks several cars into a slide, but luckily everyone manages to regain control.
I guess this is just mysterious encounters. It's not really like spooky.
Runway almost entirely. Quite why the pilots still tried to land when they should have known there wasn't enough space to do so is unclear. But everyone involved that day was extremely lucky that the incident resulted in as few injuries.
Some of the graphics that go up on screen kind of confuse me.
The chances of being struck by lightning or even seeing lightning strike nearby is thankfully incredibly rare, but it does happen. The chances of an event like this being caught on camera are even more unlikely, but the police officer in the next video managed to beat
Oh,
all
these
of
hiccups
those
are gonna
odds.
be the end of
He's
me.
driving along a residential street as part of his patrol, and a few drops of rain land on his windshield. Suddenly there's an explosion. It looks and feels as if the car has been hit by a bomb, but in fact, it was hit by a bolt of lightning. Somehow, the officer and the others in his car survived this, which is incredible when you think of the amount of energy that must have passed through the vehicle. For a split second, you can see the orange of the fire that it started, but they were able to escape from the vehicle before it burned through. It just goes to show that no matter how careful you are when you're driving, new dangers could come at you from any direction. With a little luck, though, you can even survive a lightning strike directly to the car. Which is
Yeah,
somewhat
we've
unusual, which
actually
is
had a
what you find
like lightning strike directly behind our car before when my uncle was driving us. Literally struck like maybe a few feet behind us as we were driving. It was like loudest bang you ever hear, super bright, and we're like, what the fuck? Ow, my hiccups are gonna kill me. Oh my god. This is the longest I've had hiccups in a long time. It's like getting booted in the chest from the inside out, and holy shit, it's starting to hurt, like a lot. I might need to end stream early just because I'm in fucking pain. Ow. That's
Get scared.
Huh?
That's how you get rid of hiccups. Scare yourself.
You know how hard it is to actually like properly scare me. Like last night, I think it was no, not last night, Wednesday night when I was playing Fear. That startled me like crazy. Like I had like a little demon child crawl on the ground at me, and I didn't notice it till like oh, I'm gonna die. Until like it was like right at me. I was like, oh my fuck. But let's see who's online.
Do it for you. Hang on, you ready for
Okay.
this?
What am I waiting for?
Okay, prepare yourself. I sure hope
I
you've
am
gone to the
prepared.
bathroom because you're gonna be your pants. Are you ready?
Okay. If it's loud, I'm gonna murder you.
Boo.
Shit. Alright, I am gonna just end stream early tonight because I'm in a lot of fucking pain right now. Ouch. These hiccups can fuck off at any time. Oh my god. As usual, I'm gonna send you guys over at my boy Frosted Fricks. Show him some love. He's a good boy. He's a good man. He's a funny boy. For everyone that is not on Twitch, this is where we're going. And yep, that's oh god, I'm dying. Yep, show him some love. He's a good boy. He's a funny man. He's currently playing VR chat. I'm gonna start the raid, and yep, I will see you guys on Monday. I have not quite a full idea on what we're doing Monday. It's either a collab or Minecraft. Sound good? Yep. Fantastic. All right. I love you guys. Have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I will see you Monday. Bye-bye. Ow. Oh, I'm dying. Bye.